Holy crap, that was a lot of gasoline. S12 has been running like absolute garbage over the past 2 weeks. I'm gonna find out why.
I'm suspecting that at least one of these cylinders isn't firing or is misfiring very consistently, so I'm starting by taking out the spark plugs to see what they look like.
Look at that, it is wet. I've got cylinder 1, 2, and 3 here. Now excuse the lighting, but this came out wet. And these are black. So I'm definitely running rich, and I think on cylinder 1 I have no spark. So I'm going to be comparing the resistance values of the coil pack to a coil pack that I know to actually be firing. And I also swapped a coil pack into cylinder 1 that I know was working. As I was testing the spark plugs, I realized that my turbo compressor was all kinds of wet, and it does appear as though the supply side was dumping oil. With the oil leak in the underground garage, the car now has to be towed. It's ready to go. There's going to be an extraction truck to get it out of here, and then a flatbed to bring it to where I can work on it, i.e. my mother's house. I am nervous as shit for this. All right, we're gonna try starting the car and seeing where this oil leak is. Go for it. Okay, stop. It's coming out of the manifold. All right, so we can't tell if it's leaking oil or coolant. So I've just taken off the water pump. Oh, and we need the key if we're gonna start the car, don't we? Oh, it's in the trunk. I always remember where I leave things. Here you are. All right, let's see what happens. What the fuck? Stop! All right, that's a lot of smoke. What in God's good heck is going on here? We're back to taking out spark plugs to try to figure out what's going on inside this engine. I'm beginning to grow concerned that the engine is somehow blown. Cylinder 1, very, very wet. Cylinder 2, dark and ashy. Cylinder 3, dark and ashy. If I was as rich as this engine, I'd be paying someone to do this right now. I think I'm funny. Oh shit. I can see a puddle in cylinder 1. I can actually see fluid pooled on top of the cylinder. All right, we're turning it over to see what happens. All right, so there's puffs of something coming out of cylinder 1. The suspicion is that this is a fuel injector. So what we've done is we've put one spark plug just into cylinder 1. What I'm gonna do is prime the fuel system and see if that spark plug comes out wet without turning the engine over. So the injector shouldn't be firing. If it's open now, then we know it's leaking. It looks dry, but it smells like gas. Let me just see if I can see into the cylinder. Oh, that reeks of gasoline though. Whoa! Holy crap, that was a lot of gasoline. That was on first crank, and look at this. The entire cylinder head is wet. The exhaust manifold, my God, is this a hazard? Oh, well, there's no doubt in my mind as to what the problem is anymore. So it was just priming it a couple of times, and then bam, turned it over, and that's what happened. Mental. We're just gonna clear the gasoline out of the cylinder by cranking it. Oh my God. Holy shit. That is terrifying. Today is tomorrow, and we're back with the car. I managed to find some injectors on Facebook Marketplace. They are new, very used injectors. So I'm gonna try installing one of these and see if we still have a horrible fuel leak. Here we are. That's seated. All right, the new injector is in. Spark plugs are back in, new spark plugs that is. Coil packs are on top. So we're gonna prime the fuel system and hope that fuel doesn't spew out all over the place. There doesn't seem to be any fuel leak, so we're gonna start the car, let it idle for a while, let the oil fuel mixture that's sat in the sump warm up, and then finally drain it so that we can get some fresh oil in. This is the idle that we were hoping for. Nice and smooth, no sounds of misfires, no popcorn sounds. This is good. So, trying to solve a misfire. Thought I had an oil leak. Turned out to be a very leaky injector. Replacing it solves the misfire. It is starting to rain, as it always seems to when you're trying to get shit done. So we're packing the car up. It's off the ramps. It was idling really, really nicely. It seems to be that the injector really was the issue. So next thing to do is going to be take them all out, clean them, put them all back in with new O-rings.